welcome to today's iRacing video. For one last time, we're going to try to get around Phillip Island Raceway in the VRS GT Sprint Series.
P9, 40 minutes. Follow car number 19 in the left column.
That delay was an awkward amount of time between spotter pulling the start of the race and starting the formation lap. However, here we are. Phillip Island Raceway in Victoria, Australia. It's currently Monday, 10 PM race. The last opportunity before we go to Okayama tomorrow. So I just thought, following on from my podium video, to see if I could potentially get one more good race in. I was on track to doing that in the 6 PM race a few hours ago. However, I made a mistake going into turn 1, got a 40-second track cut warning, penalty, and then towards the end of it just made a few silly mistakes as I was fighting my way back through the grid, but could have been a 12th and realistically a net positive, because I think I had a car number of like 17 or 18, I can't remember. Turned out to be pretty much just a neutral. I think I lost 0.02 safety rating, and I think I lost 18 I rating, so a little bit of a slap in the face considering how good we did in the last video. However, we'll try one final time to have another good race here at Phillip Island. We had an awesome race, the one that you guys saw, where we got on the podium, still by fortuitous events, but still. As I've said, in order to finish first, first you must finish. And one of the most important things, one thing I have struggled with is my starts here at Phillip Island. I wouldn't say I'm the worst, like I don't drop a lot off the pack, but for whatever reason, the leaders just don't go through that penultimate corner 2x2, like as a proper GT race should start. As soon as they get that option to go, they just blitz it. And starting in P9 with a car number of 20, so hopefully it goes well. Again, it's probably bottom split, but however, there's not very many splits this week here at Phillip Island. I guess it's not a very popular track for people. And oof. Well, this one, ask and you shall receive. This is a pretty well perfect 2x2 start.
Green.
I really couldn't come across because James...
Car right. On your right. Clear right.
Oh. I think I lost at least one, most likely two off the start there.
Car left. Clear left.
Come on, Sean.
Alright, Oliver, decent start. We can build something from here.
Is that move really on?
Left side. Hold your line. Clear left.
That Ferrari was quite slow. Maybe he has really good one lap pace, but not too much off the start. Not super confident. Oh, he is car 19, so maybe he's just, his safety rating might be not looking too crash out. He's an A-class racer, so I'm not too sure what's going on there. So very much so a case of asking you shall receive. Ask for a 2x2 start off the grid, and that's what we got.
Car left. Hold your line. Clear left.
And a big ups for Takao. We raced a few races against him this week and last week at Road America. He was able to put it on pole today, which is an awesome result for him. I think he had like a 28.6 maybe. I think I set my qualifying over 29.4, so slowly getting consistently into the 29s.
Left side. Clear left.
That Ferrari did lift ever so slightly going into that hairpin. Right, so here we go. Let's get settled in. Let's have a good race. Manfred is not very happy with what just happened there, which I can understand, especially if you have had a bit of a rough week, which Phillip Island
just done a 128.6
really does punish you if you do make mistakes, and inadvertently can punish other drivers as well.
7th position. That lap was at 130.18.
A lot of Ferraris rocking very similar liveries. I got a big case of deja vu. Oh well. So for the guys that caught the Formula 1 race last night, Hamilton was able to catch back up on Verstappen and take the win and just extend that championship lead just ever so slightly. It was good to see Danny Rick finally show some really good form in that McLaren and really get as much out as he possibly could. He's had a bit of a, not a rubbish start to the season, just a not super smooth start to the season. Unfortunately, my favourite driver, Sebastian Vettel, is having an absolute shocker start to the season, so I know it is an inherent problem with those low rate cars this year, but the McLaren's not necessarily a low rate car, but it's still running a Mercedes power unit.
Fastest lap.
And he's able to do it, and same with Mercedes, they're still fighting for top steps of the podium. So it does suck to see that the Aston Martin Racing car isn't able to even get into like Q3 consistently, even finishing the points at all this year consistently, really. I really got to get past this Ferrari, he's slowing me down. Not sure if I said it, but I'm going to push my stint late, as I have been pretty well all week here. I find that it just allows me to focus on doing my race, everything like that. That being said, I did enjoy doing the reverse. Like, obviously, due to my penalty, I had to make a stop anyway, but pull out a sequence at the start of the race and just be able to focus on my lap times was quite good in the last race. I was just able to punch in high 29s, 30s in the race, which for me is quite good, and just focus on trying to minimize that damage done by the mistakes I made. But I think I like that little bit more consistency of running super light towards the end.
Defend your position.
Just means if I do need to, if I do have to defend, I have the ability to, and have a nice, light, agile car. He's going to slam it up the inside now, 100%.
Car right. Clear right.
Come on, mate, defend your position.
And I in no way wish negativity on any other race car driver.
The gap's now
However,
0.44.
I did have a race against Rory, and he is the kind of person that does get a little bit nudgy, a little bit hot under the collar when he's attacking, and if you don't let him through, he will just slam it up the inside and make it your responsibility to get out of his way, which, in my honest opinion, is not the correct way to go about doing an overtake. It's not the person in front to get out of your way. You have to pass in a safe manner, but whatever. Be interested to see if Rory tries to put a move on James here into turn 1. He looks like he wants to.
The lap time was at 1:30.68.
Oh, ever so slightly dropped a wheel on the grass there. Luckily was able to, wasn't braking, wasn't doing anything silly, so the car stayed very subservient. And I think James got very lucky at the fact that Rory made a mistake.
Okay, Oliver, our refueling window will open after 18 minutes and closes at about 29 minutes.
Also got Xavier here, who I think, if I do make a mistake or give him an opportunity to slam anything up the inside, he'll take that very happily. I wonder if Rory is the Audi that was spun around at the start of the race. 1.1k, so potentially.
You've just done it.
Left side. Clear left.
Come on, that's the stuff.
That was a good overtake, and he gave me racing room. Like, I was up alongside him into that corner, but that first corner is very much so like a one line kind of ordeal. You kind of need to be well and truly up alongside or follow through that corner subserviently. Alright, come on James, don't be like that. If you're going to make a move, do it properly. Please don't crash into me. I'm actually surprised how level that car, the Lambo, stayed, considering that was a pretty decent sized punt.
Right side. Clear right.
Come on, don't let him get away.
Car left. Still there. Clear left.
P7. Sector 3 is 1.1 off the pace. Well done, Oliver. Great move. Keep it up.
Rory, I saw up ahead, had some issues with either a back marker I think it was with that back marker, just based on what's going on in the comment section there of the race. Which sucks, but that being said, as I said, Sean's a very aggressive kind of racer from what I could see in the few races I've done with him this week, and I think last week as well. Just his body language while he's driving just screams like I'm doing what I gotta do to get through you.
Don't be intimidated. Keep him behind you.
I wouldn't say intimidated is the correct word there, Jim. It's just all it takes is one silly out-braking maneuver and he's into the back of me and spun me, so Kind of hoping it isn't the case.
Behind is now 1.4 seconds. V6, that last lap was at 1:30.00.
Now that I'm out of like slipstream. Now that I'm out of slipstream, hopefully I can just focus on doing my race. I did set a lap that was a second a lap quicker last lap around against Ambu and James. However, I do know going into those last sequence of corners that James did make a slight error, so potentially that might be the cause. Alright, come on, Manfred. Good job, thank you. I don't think he made things as easy for Phil because I have shut that gap up a little bit, but I'm sure Phil will just push it out ever so slightly. Now we just settle into our race. Ooh, little bit of frame rate jittering. Maybe one day I'll be able to work out why it actually does that, but till that point, we'll just roll with it.
That was a 1:30.03.
Manfred's left. So as I touched on in the last video, we're heading to Okinawa. Someone's done a somersault in their Ferrari behind. I don't know who it was, and I'm not sure if it was just... Oh, it was Sean again.
3.9.
He's made mistakes twice now that ruined the front runners' races. Oh, and it was James. Sure, this will go down nicely.
You've used half your fuel.
So yeah, we're heading to Okinawa next week, or tomorrow, and I do know that track, having raced in the Porsche Cup Series as I touched on, so hopefully it can be a little bit more competitive. But that being said, it's good to be able to see progression over the course of a week. So like from going to like a 132, 133 consistent lap times, finishing 16, 17 and all the rest, to being consistently in the top 10. I know that's always subjective to things going your way, but still, I show up to the race, I do the right thing. If I stay out of trouble, I deserve the position I get.
The gap behind's increased to 4.8.
And I can see myself improving. I feel a lot more confident. I feel a lot smoother. I feel a lot less jittery. Like not as much running deep. I've kind of got my braking points down pat. Kind of got my braking mark points down pat. And I can pretty well consistently run this track at any fuel load without making too many silly mistakes. You obviously do get caught out occasionally in hard racing. You drop concentration. You are out of position, your weight transfer is a difference, but still I'm feeling very confident with this track. Well, more confident than I was definitely at the start of the week. I was very apprehensive about racing here. Oh, really not the corner you want to be getting a frame rate judder though. So yeah. We approach 16 minutes into the race. Nice and smooth with where we are. There's still plenty of racing though, so I got to stay well switched on. I think Sean staying in the pits might not be a bad call considering he's already ended two people's races.
You've just done a 131.04.
Potentially thinking this week at Okinawa to try one of the more doing still my VRS sprint series, so the 40-minute races. but potentially on the weekend when I do have a little bit of free time, I'm potentially going to try the VRS endurance race and just see how it goes. Because I have been keen to try it, or potentially like a GT category, so with the BMW M8 or potentially the Porsche. They're the two cars I'm kind of gravitating towards. Oh, and potentially the Corvette. It's kind of tossing up between those three at the moment. Something pretty interesting to drive. But we'll just have to wait and see. Like, if I am thoroughly enjoying racing at Okayama this week with the Lamborghini, I might just stick with that for the time being. But as I mentioned in my first few videos, endurance racing and long forms of racing are what appeal to me. So if I do get an opportunity to do so, I probably will jump on the opportunity because I think it's pretty cool. There also has been some thoughts swirling around in my head of potentially trying the NASCAR series, but I might wait until rolling over of season 3 to run with that, like, and do a full season, just kind of like a rookie season, and see how much I enjoy it. The gap to the car behind has kind of remained stagnant, and the gap to the car in front has gradually pushed a little bit out. I think it was 3 seconds at one stage, and slowly he's increasing back out against Phil, but he does have some pretty serious pace. I think he's in the Audi, or might be the Merc actually. Does look like the Merc, the way that wing is and the way the silhouette of that car is. It does look very Merc-like. But yeah, guys, if you are enjoying the content, please consider giving us a like, a subscribe, a comment. We are slowly growing that community. I am spotting a few followers on Twitter starting to come through, a few extra subscribers here or there.
All right, Oliver, you've got 10 minutes of fuel remaining. P6.
And I really do appreciate it. Appreciate anyone who sits through, because these are rather long videos to digest, and especially in my opinion, considering I don't find myself particularly entertaining.
Just done a 128.52.
But oh, who was I watching? I think I was watching an old David Sampson video, and he was like, this just started as more of a passion project, as a way to document like my progression as I improve, and that's kind of like what
the gap behind is now 3.7.
What I'm trying to embody as well. Like, I'm not.
Last lap time was at 130.83.
If you guys enjoy the content, that's a bonus. But I'm also just, oh no, sorry, it was Boosted Media when he was talking about
20 minutes to go.
His IRL racing that he did with his old cars.
9 minutes of fuel remaining.
And I thoroughly enjoyed, like, and that really did stick with me, kind of thing. And I just like documenting my progression and how I get better. And if I can make some awesome friends along the way, and guys who enjoy my content and enjoy watching the progression, that's all I could ever ask for. So I do appreciate anyone who does watch, comment, like, all that kind of thing, because it shows that you guys are enjoying my content and help support me and get my stuff out there. As much as I have been rather addicted to this track this week, I will enjoy seeing the back of it for at least a season, so I can focus on something else less stressful in a track. This track has a tendency to just when you feel like, oh yeah, I'm going alright, just absolutely crushing your confidence and being like, oh yeah, everything you thought you knew, wrong. Try again. So when it does hook up, it feels good.
Okay, Oliver. Keep doing what you're doing. This is spot on. P5. Your lap time was 130.3.
It is a very flowy track, and the first sector feels like it's kind of one whole long corners or sequence of corners, because if you are quick through them, you can carry a lot of speed, you can be very quick, then you go through the hairpin and it pretty much follows through again. And then as you go through that fast right-hander kink, as you come over the crest there to the last 2 or 3 corners, it almost resets again. So it is just a complex of 3 or 4 corners reoccurring with a small little straight between them, and it does give you a good opportunity to reset. And when you hook up a lap here, it does feel good, because it is only 1:30, so 90 seconds and you're relatively in and out of a lap. So Xavier's catching me. Well, I say that, he's caught by like 0.7 or almost a full second now in the last few laps, and start to catch him in my rear view mirror. So maybe next lap I'll try, like, even to be only 0.7 of a second behind my fastest lap is not bad. But I'm sure I can manage a little bit better consistently, like lower time consistently without jeopardizing myself too much. Not sure if it's just my eyes playing tricks on me, but I have a feeling Xavier slowed down. Yep, he has. He's dropped off by like a 1.4, 1.5 seconds.
P4.
And the gap ahead has remained relatively sharp there, like it's slowly increasing out, but over the last 2 or 3 laps it's remained around that 4.5, which is good. I think he's only pulling a 10th on me every lap or 2, which is good. Mark is 12 seconds behind, and I think he's going to be holding Dennis up. Oh, seeing Dennis there makes me realise that Xavier's made a mistake somewhere.
The gap is 4.5 seconds.
But yeah, if Mark does catch me before I get my opportunity to jump in the pits, I really don't want to hold him up too much. But I do also hope that Mark is quite patient, because he will have to understand that although I'll be on a lighter fuel load and I will be slightly quicker than him, because very few people change tyres in a 40-minute VRS race, there's no point. He'll have to know that I'll only be a lap or 2 away from pitting and getting out of his hair.
Okay, Oliver, we estimate you've got 5 minutes of fuel remaining.
This feels like an all too familiar position, but I do know on corrected time I'm probably 5th or 6th depending on what happens.
P3, that's your fastest lap today.
Cow's leading, and he typically runs very deep into the race too with his pit stops, like at least from what I've seen. I obviously haven't seen every single race he's done, but the ones I've been in with him, we've actually been relatively close to one another in most of the races we've done together, and he typically does push it as far out as he possibly can.
15 minutes left, that's 15 minutes.
And then I've got about 5 minutes, so maybe about 3 laps, and then I'll have to come in.
The gap to Chapman behind is now 11 seconds.
Yeah. So with a 12-second gap, but also they haven't pitted yet,
That
so
lap was a 1:30.
realistically
Sector 1 is 0.7 off the pace.
might come out in a corrected 5th place potentially, maybe 6th if we're lucky. Just depends if Nath... Oh no. Phil's jumped in already. Oh no, he's just jumped in now. Provided the guys in front make a mistake or something like that, but we'll just have to wait and see and roll with it. And at the moment, consistent driving is really what we need. Just off topic, just crossed my mind. We are getting very, very close to the end of season. We've got 3 weeks left. And if I would like to get into A-class licensing at the end of this season. And in order to do that, I need to get my safety rating up just ever so slightly over that 3.0 mark. But that being said, given the nature of YouTube, anything that can go wrong will go wrong. So I would hope to get to like 3.5 and potentially give myself a little bit of a buffer. But that is all at the will of the gods and the iRacing servers. And again, as consistency increases, even if it means I progress slower up my I
2
rating,
minutes of fuel remaining.
once you reach that 2k mark, that 1.8k mark, that 3k mark, it's that ability to just have a little bit cleaner racing, a little bit faster racing
130.47.
becomes more evident. People that have
come into the pits at the end of this lap. Box this lap.
people that just have that little bit more racecraft about them will show true. I hope. I watch a lot of the big guys like Jimmy, David Sampson, and Boosted. Like, they have their fair share of rotten luck in races as well, but it does seem like it's a little bit cleaner up that end, and I'm sure as well as time progresses I'll be able to identify risky maneuvers or risky situations that I can alleviate and just be like, yeah, I'm not going to get involved in this. I'd rather finish a position lower and actually finish the race.
2 litres remaining.
So we're going to box this lap.
The leader's pitting now.
Again, whatever Takao does,
Alan ahead is pitting.
I can do as well. That didn't feel any different, but pushed a little bit deeper through that corner.
Pit lane speed limit is 72 kilometers per hour.
Yep.
We'll fuel you to the end of the race.
26
1
litres
litre
going
remaining.
in.
Alan is leading the race.
Oh, Takao has made a mistake in the pit somewhere. Oh, massive. Maybe he has mandatory damage repair or something like that, but that really sucks considering he led the whole race. Oh, wow, he has had a massive mistake. I'm not sure what's going on. Maybe he's had a controller failure or something like that, or like a...
Car approaching. Watch your mirrors. P4.
Wow, we have had a net increase to Phil. But again, he was quicker than me. Oh, Alan's been pretty much inherited the lead, which is very lucky for him.
Okay, Oliver. 10 minutes to go. That's 10 minutes left.
Dennis also hasn't pitted, so we actually might be up for a net 4th position now, everything going well. Unless that's just an error through Race Labs saying that Dennis hasn't pit when he may have, but that means that I've never seen that error occur. And it seems to be working pretty well and pretty accurately for everyone else in the race. Oh, there we go.
The gap in front is increasing. It's now 1.9.
There we go, Dennis's pit. So, just under 10 minutes to go and we'll be done with this. But this is, I think, the hardest because you start to get into that position where you start to get that fatigue. The car's at its loosest it has been all race because it's on the lowest amount of fuel. You're also hungry for any final opportunities at points that present itself. So it's just about keeping a level head. We started in P8 or P9s, and to halve that to go to P4 is pretty damn good in my opinion. There's still a long way to go, so there's plenty of opportunity to go up, go down, stay where we are, so just keep a level head about it all. Made a few mistakes in practice there, so I'm trying not to go as deep into that corner before hooking it in. Rather take a little bit of a shallower line just to risk not dropping a tyre. I dropped it down to first in a slightly too low a gear for the speed I was doing, and I felt the back end just start to float ever so slightly. We're just teetering on the back of slipstream. I think it's 1.4. So maybe next go round we will be in the slipstream of Phil, but
got 10 minutes of fuel remaining.
yeah, it was very slow through that second complex of corners, that long left-hander. Really got to take it easy. I'm pushing it a touch too deep and going too deep into those few corners. The hairpin was the same, and that corner following the hairpin, which is almost like a second hairpin. You can tell that in the way that Phil was able to just extend that gap back out. I got a cough and I really don't want to do that. Oh, very lucky the straight was where it was, and I was able to reach over and mute my mic.
Just done a 130.46. Sectors 2 and 3 are 0.25 off the pace. You're a second off in sector 1. The gap in front is now 2.5 seconds.
Marvin staying there at the 5-second mark, 5 and a bit seconds, and the gap to Phil is pretty much hovering around that 2.5 to 2.7 second mark. That was ever so slightly later than I wanted it to be.
Five minutes to go, 5 minutes left.
I think that means about 3 laps to go, 3 or 4 depending.
Lap times are pretty consistent.
Marvin has slowly knocked it down, but that being said, Turkout has slowly caught back up to him. So hopefully if they do start to battle, that will push. Oh. Don't know if keeping my foot in there was the smartest call, but fortunately the car was very compliant and stayed with me. I think Phil may have made the hintest of a mistake or a check up or something like that over the hill there, because I was able to close like half a second in those last 2 or 3 corners. Sandro's in the pit, Marcello is there, and Lachlan is ahead of him. I don't think we're going to catch him before the end of the race, but we might.
P4. That lap time was 130.04. That's 5 minutes of fuel left.
Try to be a little bit calmer around that corner, as not to light up the wheels and lose any time. So you can only
The gap in front is now 2.3.
risk those kind of like just foot to the floor kind of moments a few times before you eventually get bitten by it.
Two minutes to go, 2 minutes.
Really looking forward to no longer having to look to the back of Phil's bumper. It's just tantalizingly close. He'll have a really slow lap or a few really slow few laps, and I'll have a few quick laps, and then vice versa, and we will quite literally
Your
just...
lap time was 1:30.37. Yellow flag.
Oh, who's made a mistake? I think it might be Lachlan. Nothing silly here, mate. We may get a chance in the first corner, but we may not either. The toe is pretty strong here given how long the straight is, and that first corner is a very flowy kind of corner. As you saw, if you are right up alongside, there are two lines there, even though I think I contradicted myself by saying in the last video that there is only one. Last lap, I don't really think I'm going to be able to do too much here against Hill.
We're running on fumes, mate. That lap was at 1:31.12.
Marvin is also only 2 seconds behind, so I really don't want to risk anything that might jeopardize the position I have at the moment. A lot heavier on the fuel front this time around, whereas last time I was able to get a whole another lap more or less around the track, whereas this time I'm going to be lucky to make it to the first corner.
Two minutes to go, 2 minutes.
Oh, he's got a very slow run. I would have had a crack into the first corner.
P4. Okay, it's over. Well done, mate. Good finish.
That was an awesome race. That was awesome towards the end there. Thank you very much, Phil, for that awesome race towards the end. So, yeah. Guys, what we're going to do is just up ahead here, as I get on to just before the hairpin, we're going to just get into the results here, and we'll go from there. So let's get into the results, guys. So what we're going to do here, guys, we're just going to quickly jump into the results. So 3 splits here. bottom split, that was to be expected, but a little bit higher of a strength of field, 11.04 as opposed to 9.50, I think it was, or 9.55 last time. So one lead change, and we all saw what happened there. That was when Nathan overtook Takao in the pits. So that's a bit shit, but oh well. Had a 0.75 safety rating increase, which is honestly amazing. That's that buffer that we were looking for. So next week we can really get into some good racing. Massive increase in the I rating as well. I'm very happy with that result. And 3 Australians in the top 5, which is a great result. So we had Nathan, Mark, and Phil is the top 3. Almost got Phil towards the end there, and very close lap times as well as averages as well, which is great. Started P9, started P12. Phil had it awesome. Oh, he just had a license level up because he just went to 4.45. That's awesome. So congratulations to him. So yeah, and then we started from P9, car number 20. That was an awesome result as well. So guys, if you have enjoyed the video, please consider giving a like, a subscribe, a comment. Check out my Twitter in the description down below. And we will catch you in the next one. Bye.